Hey guys, Luke here, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 3 of my Rugby League Live 3 Be A Pro series with James Hart. And obviously, we're still at the Bulldogs, as you can see by the start of this video, and you'll see in a second. And in this first game, we'll be taking on the Cronulla Sharks. Second game, we're taking on the Newcastle Knights. And gotta say, the Cronulla Sharks, they don't have Jared HD. He's not there. There is no Jared Nance. So we should have nothing to worry about, you would have to say, but we're going to have a look at, or something I mentioned last episode, but I was hoping we could progress to an 81, and we do get another 5 things to boost ourselves here. And you see there, we added the strength, we've maxed out our strength, speed is already maxed out, I'm looking at agility and stuff as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't move ourselves up to an 81 rating, but it'll come in due time, it'll be there eventually. Hopefully we can, season's end, I'm hoping we can get to maybe an 85 rated, that would be nice. But as you can see, like I said before, taking on the Sharks, and on the wing they got Josh Mansell. Valentine Holmes is the fullback as well, I think as well. So a bit of a different side compared to real life, and it's a side that I'm looking at and I'm thinking that is a damn good side. Boyd Cordner, Kate Snowden is back at the Sharks as well, so pretty strong side there. They got Fafita still. I was a little bit worried about this game because they did towel us up in the nines. Not that that means a hell of a lot, but I don't know. We know Michael Lennis is a pretty good player on this game, that sort of stuff. A player we did get from the Sharks was Luke Lewis, but that's definitely not a good start to the game. Very first set, within the second, I think it was the second minute, I think it was Brett Morris got thrown over the sideline. They were right here. We showed we did defend pretty well. I didn't have to get involved in any of the play, so that's why I didn't show any, but we defended well, and we got ourselves out of a little bit of trouble. We were right on our own goal line. We came up with a pretty big run, got us out to, I'd say, 15 metre mark, whatever. Come up with a big tackle. Looks like it's on Boyd Cordner or someone, but around the legs tackle. It's something we're trying to phase out of our game. It's something that obviously it's pretty much a guaranteed try. Maybe we should have done it right there. Guaranteed tackle rather than get dragged or pushed off. You go around the legs. The only thing you have to worry about is an offload. Maybe in a situation like that, maybe they would have done an offload. They would have risked it to go for the try, but yeah, I really think in hindsight, should have went for the legs tackle just there, and as a result, we ended up getting dragged over the line with Ricky Latelli or whatever. Now we absolutely burned Cesar Wonga down the outside, but he comes across there and makes a cover tackle, throws us over the sideline. That wasn't something where we were close to the sideline and just got tackled over in normal animation. That was a driving tackle, so that was a little bit frustrating. So that's 2 already we've conceded against the Sharks of getting driven over the sideline. We do come up with a very impressive tackle there, right around the ribs. I think that was on Latelli that time, but you see Luke Lewis, I was trying to mention it before, but got distracted. But Luke Lewis is someone who we actually did pinch from the Sharks, and when I say we, I mean the Bulldogs, the club that we're at. You see right there, that was a risky call. And that's just one of those things where you make the call, and because you're running back at the time, it locks on, and because it makes you run onto the ball. So obviously you're running onto a ball that's going further and further backwards. So nearly ended up running over the dead ball line. Did, however, turn just in time and went through a little bit of a gap. Would have been nice if we could have went the distance. That would have been a brilliant try, but it was a pass off Luke Lewis. So that's what came into my thought process. Now we come up with some more defense. There's been a lot of defense in these first few games and that sort of stuff, and that's just going to happen in this game. But Ben Barber, Cesar Wonga, I'm thinking it was Ben Barber because of him destroying us in the nines, but it was Cesar Wonga that time who ended up just getting on the outside of us. We sort of just committed to the tackle a little bit too early. You don't want to, put your feet down, stamp your feet down, and commit yourself to a tackle that far out, because it does happen very often. You see in all the game modes, that's just what happens. Right here, we did get trapped a little bit in the corner there. We get absolutely steamrolled there by, it looks like Fafita, the number 8 for the Sharks. But thankfully, the next player in line, I don't know who it was, but he came up with a strip on the Sharks play. So 12-0 down at halftime. See, Cesar Wonga, Michael Lennis, and Ricky Latelli in particular are ripping us apart. So I think it's up to James Hart to sort of come up with something really good, get us back into the game, a little bit of magic. And we haven't started off very well. Kick turned straight down our throat, but they were right on us and ended up driving us back. So that was terrible way to start the game. But I think it's Boyd Cordner yet again, through another gap, as he does best. Boyd Cordner, a great hole runner, and yet again we've stopped them. So Luke, I think it's Aiden Tolman actually. It was Aiden Tolman or James Graham who grabbed the ball, and when those sort of opportunities arise, I always want to call for it, because there's a few times, particularly when someone catches a bomb or something, you want to call for it because there's just so much space, and if you just weave a little bit, you can get through. See right there, we're just trying to pop an offload. Now, I believe that probably would have been called forward and a knock-on had they actually caught the ball, like one of our teammates caught the ball, but it wasn't, and they just got an intercept, and there you go. They were off to the races, but We ended up making a tackle. There was another brilliant tackle from us around the legs there, and you see here another tackle around the legs there, and I just realised saying off to the races when they didn't score, that didn't make sense. But this is about the 4th time we've been driven back, which is so frustrating. It just shows we don't quite have the strength there, but we're going to take on Valentine Holmes. He's going to come across, and he's going to make a very crucial tackle, and that is so frustrating. I was thinking that's the moment we get back into the game. We're going to have a brilliant comeback here, and we're going to go on with it, and obviously it didn't happen. The Sharks held on, that we couldn't score. We had another opportunity straight after that on the line where we just tried to drive away over, and that didn't happen. So it looks like Sharks going to pick up the victory, just going into full time. There's a final offload there. Michael Ennis steps around the last defender there to rub insult into injury. A former Bulldog ends up scoring against us. So 16-0, should be 18-0 probably. But yeah, Michael Ennis kicks the goal, so it is 18-0, and I believe that's how it will finish, you would have to think. And they've racked up another score on us. Obviously, it's a lot more tighter than Orca Nines, and I really don't think the scoreline reflects the game entirely, but I've got to say, Sharks were the better side. You saw how many times we had to get involved in defence, and that says it all, really. So 18-0, what can you do? I think James Hart did all he could in that game. It's up to the rest of the side. But you see that Michael Ennis picked up man of the match, but for us, James Hart wasn't too far behind. I think he would have polled 2 Dally M points in that game, so if you're interested in the Dally M leaderboard and that sort of stuff, I think that's sort of worth noting. Right there, I think we did grab, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but we grabbed one of those boosts, and like I said in the previous video, if the boosts are there, we've got a pretty good contract, and that's the whole point of signing those contracts in this game. You want to sign the best amount or the most that you can get, I think, unless you want to stay loyal and that sort of stuff, but you want to do that so you can get those boosts. Our player obviously isn't the best, but just some of those little boosts, they might not cost very much, but they can take us from that 80 rated player into an 85 rated player or so sometimes, depending on what you get. But an interesting signing for the Knights. Not someone who particularly scare me or anything. Even in the previous season or whatever, I think we had some pretty tight games against them. So they're definitely a side I think we can win, and with the bigger amount of time, there should be plenty more tries scored, and I just think we'll be able to win this one, to be totally honest with you. But one thing I wasn't expecting was Brett Stewart to be in the Knight side, which was a bit interesting. They also got a new hooker. It was Glenn Buttress as well, which probably is rated alright in this game. But they started off very, very well. Josh Drinkwater, someone who I don't think is rated that well. I think he's probably like late 70s, early 80s. Based off my Tigers career mode, where I think he was at the club, possibly. Carlos Tulmavabi is another youngster in the half there, so no Jared Mullen for them. And obviously Hodkinson, who will be there in real life next year, isn't there because he's playing for us still. But this is a pretty nice kick return the first time. We did run largely sideways, but we did make a few late meters as we dragged a few players, or dragged a player I should say. And there's another good run from us, from James Hart. All you got to do is just sucker him in and then change of direction, and then you're good to go. And if you're fast enough, you can get through those gaps, or you can do the Jared Nance and just power your way through. But obviously we don't have the strength there. You saw in the first game we got dragged back like a billion times. So strength isn't a huge thing for us, although we have maxed out our strength, I believe. So I'm not really sure what's to go of us getting dominated in tackles all the time, but it is what it is, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Now, I believe it is maybe Dane Gagai. I don't know exactly who it was. It can't be Gagai, considering how easy we ran him down, but they were in a bit of space, and we made a diving tackle beforehand. They got absolutely nobody, so that's the reason why we couldn't get involved a little bit earlier, but we ended up coming up with the tackle, followed up by another big tackle there. Not only did we come up with a try-saving tackle sort of thing, because if we miss that, they're off to the races for sure. But, we threw him over the sideline, gave us great field position, and we should be able to take advantage of it, you would think. As you see there, we're not going to be able to take advantage of it because they end up just stripping the ball, palming off another player, and he's racing away here. I think it's Sione Mataudia. Can James Hart run him down? Yes, he can. He had Uwade on the outside of him. You selfish player. I don't know if it was Mataudia, but whoever it was just needed to pass it. Now, there's going to be a try for sure. Brett Stewart tried his best there, and I know Brett Stewart is a really, really good fullback on this game, so he was a particular danger that we wanted to shut down. But David Stagg just runs over. He's another signing for them. I don't even know what happened there. There was a player right there, didn't even attempt to make a tackle. I don't know what was the go there. But we find ourselves 12-0 down after not even 20 minutes. So we're moving into the 21st minute here. It was the second tackle of the set. So it just shows our defense is so poor after conceding points. And if it wasn't for us, I think we'd be a long way behind. But we are going to be even further behind. This try does go down on James Hart. It's just another bomb. And I think Robbie Farah scored one in the preseason games. And I said, it's not going to be the last time you have a forward or, a player like Robbie Farah who shouldn't be rising above fullbacks, scoring a try like that. And John Wilkin, I don't know who he is, but he scored a try off the bomb, and then Bo Scott follows it up with a try just driving his way over. So we're getting absolutely thumped by the Knights, and it's not something that I'm too happy about. And something I'm even more upset about is the fact that James Hart, my recruit, my player, ends up getting substituted at half time. And the reason being is I think we had Clint Gutherson on the bench, which was a little bit strange. Like the last season, we were crap in the ratings, and Clint Gutherson, he wasn't injured, nothing. He didn't get played at all. Yet we come into this, we've had a good preseason. Player is rated a first grade quality sort of player, 80 rated. I think Gutherson's up to an 84 or so rating. So obviously he's still better, but they haven't picked him any other time. They started playing him in this game. I don't really understand it. And I got to say, like, we haven't been playing too badly, but there's an offload. And see, I think it's Cook in at hooker position. We end up calling for the ball there. There was a bit of space. They did shut it down pretty quickly. They were sort of coming from all over the place, but that's going to be a nice little kick from us. We can't get to the ball. I don't know if that's Tom or Graham there, but they nearly got to it. But we get a repeat set, which gives us a great opportunity. Josh Reynolds gets it to Luke Lewis, who just barges his way over. That was a great little try there by Luke Lewis. A big shoulder barge there. I haven't showed a replay, but that was very, very impressive. And I believe it was probably Brett Stewart on the receiving end of it. So good work there by Luke Lewis, our new signing at the Bulldogs. So I'm glad to have him on board. At the same time, though, it hasn't really helped out our side greatly, because you can see here 24-6 down against a team like the Knights. Shouldn't really be happening, but we're sort of clawing our way back into the game very, very slowly, but it is happening. Getting more field position. I mean, that try to Luke Lewis gave us a little bit of confidence as well there. So this play here, this is the one in particular. I don't know why I showed the play beforehand, but this one here, come up with another tackle around the legs. That's what we need to be doing, I think, for the time being. Like I said earlier, we want to be phasing out those sort of tackles, but this stage we're just not quite good enough to be doing it consistently. And you know what, we do get a fair bit of turnovers when we do those sort of tackles. So I don't know, maybe it's something that we'll have to sort of keep doing for the time being, but obviously, like I said, the long term is to get rid of it and go for normal tackles. But we're just constantly attacking the Knights line. We're not directly on their line, but sort of just we're getting close to it. But we're going to head crossfield here and just going to try and find some space here. And there it opens up here. Brett Stewart coming across there, and as well as McManus. They just leave a huge hole there. And that's what happens when you just let James Hart run across field. And that stuff, you might say that's unrealistic, but it's happened plenty of times in real life when you see those players like Jared Hayne. Players just hold off him for some reason. And you know what? You can't let that happen to James Hart. Although Des Hasler disagrees. He must have thought that was shit, scoring a try, getting them back into the game. I'm not sure what's to go there, but you know what, we got subbed straight back off. Clint Gutherson comes on, he gets a rating of 5. I don't know how many minutes he played, probably about 20 or so. But the game did actually glitch. The first time I've experienced that. Obviously, we haven't been subbed yet, but it is a known issue that the halves and that sort of stuff seem to have stupid meters and that sort of thing. Some reason. So you saw Hogginson getting like 300 plus in terms of play ratings and that sort of stuff, which isn't right. But that is the end of the video. Results-wise, not a good episode, but I think performance-wise, it was pretty entertaining. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Luke YT. Facebook page in the description below. And my second channel, Gaming with Mr. Luke, is in the description below. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.